Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm meadsyreplays. Welcome back to the channel. Will they return? Will they return? So in today's video, we're going to look at 3 things that have been in Blitz before, and they've only ever been in Blitz one time and have never returned. And we're going to talk about shall they return, will they return, and should they return. So the first thing we are going to look at is the Mark 1 Heavy. Now, the last video I did of the Mark 1 Heavy was pretty much one of my most viewed videos, so clearly it is a popular tank that people want. Now, Wargaming got this into the game one time. It was into the game one time only for a special event, and you can only get into a game with another Mark 1 Heavy. Now, the tank itself wasn't like amazing. Of course, look at it, it's ugly as hell. But you know, it's a unique tank. It's history. It's all about history, and that is why Wargaming got this into the game to mark some kind of anniversary. Well, I think it was like 100 years since the war or something like that. So it was only around for about a week, something like a week, but a lot of people were playing it. You know, you didn't have to do anything to get the tank. You just got given the tank for about a week. Now, the only problem with this and the people that were frustrated is because when playing this, it went onto your main stats. So a lot of people at the time was chasing aces. They wanted to master every tank in the game. That was their plan. That was my plan. Some people didn't have the chance to ace this tank. They played it, but they couldn't get that mastery badge. Nowadays, years later, this will still show on people's account, and you'll never have, if you didn't ace this tank, if you played this tank and you didn't ace it, if you didn't get that gold mastery badge, then you will never get it. You will never get it. So people were frustrated that they would never be able to get, they will never be able to fulfill their ultimate goal in getting that 100% mastery badges. But I can, of course, I am able to do that. I did get the ace. Wargaming can bring this back. I mean, I still own this tank on my press account, so I can actually play this tank. I can't play it in normal random games because I don't think it will find you an opponent. Because when people got this tank, you could only go up against another Mark 1 Heavy. So it was literally 7 Mark 1 Heavies versus 7 Mark 1 Heavies. But considering Wargaming hasn't completely removed the tank from the files, there is a possibility that it will return. We just don't know when. Otherwise, why would they keep it on the files? I mean, why is it still there? If you, yeah, there we go, a message from my old friend there. Very old videos these are. Next thing is the duck tanks. Now, this was into the game again as some kind of little event. You couldn't really do anything with it, but you're able to drive ducks. Yes, you were able to drive ducks. I think this was like an April Fool's thing that Wargaming got into the game. If I'm correct, it was a very long time ago now. But yeah, you could drive around in ducks, just like you could see here. Now, there was 3 different kind of ducks. You had like an auto loader duck, you had just a single fire duck, and you had ducks that fire sharks, sort of, or like torpedoes. But it was very fun. It was fun. It was something different, and people love this kind of thing. But it's only been in the game once, and Wargaming have never brought it back since. Why? Bring stuff like this back, you know? Why not? Why not bring the Mark 1 Heavy? Why not bring the ducks? You know, World of Ducks. Why not? Now, the last thing on the list, I do understand that they'll probably never bring this back. This is where the missiles all started in Blitz, and that was from the T-49A. This is where the missiles begun. Now, these missiles were on a different level. Now, the tank was completely broken, not because of the missiles as such, because of the damage that you could put out. And that is the ammo rack possibility that you could do in this tank. You could get 3 to 4 ammo racks in a single battle. There's the first one there that we had against another T-49. Now, when the Wargaming got the T-49 into the game, this was around about the time that the T-49, the Tier 8 version, was insanely OP. It was crazy because just like this T-49A, the T-49, yes, it didn't have missiles, but you could amarak like 2 or 3 people in a battle. And if you're in a platoon with 2 T-49s, I've been in a platoon with another T-49, Bob, and between us we got 6 amaraks. It was insane. So this sort of countered the T-49 because you had the missiles. Now you can see here, this game here that we had, I have got 2 shots, 2 kills, 2 amaraks. And that was a regular thing with this tank. And of course you've got the HE, which was a high pen HE, just like the T-49 is now, but it had missiles. So yeah, I mean, we've all played the Sheridan and we all know how the missiles turn out in the end. They were just completely broken. I wouldn't say they were broken. They were more annoying because it was an unfair disadvantage where you could shoot other tanks from across the map, or when you're hiding behind a rock or a hill, you could still get shot. So the disadvantage was there, and overall people didn't want that because it wasn't fair. So Wargaming removed it. Now the T-49 again is still in the game files. People, when Wargaming removed the T-49A, again it was only there for some kind of event. You had to complete stages in the event, then you get to a certain level, then you get the T-49A. Now I'm not going to lie, the T-49A, playing the T-49A, this 2-week period, I think it was probably the most fun I have ever had in Blitz. Yes, it was annoying because the tiers were broken. Tier 6, 7 and 8 were absolutely broken. You couldn't play any other tank other than the T-49A. You couldn't. It was impossible. You couldn't play things like Cherries or even T-49s. It was just unplayable. The game was unplayable in tier 6, 7 and 8. So if you wasn't playing the T-49A, you were playing tier 9 or tier 10 or tier 5, because there was just no point, because anything that a T-49 comes up against, it would just completely rip apart. But I would love to see again some kind of event like this. Again, it wasn't right the way they did it. Now you get things like Mad Games and stuff that is in a separate mode, and yes, we do have the Sheridan missile, but it would still be nice for Wargaming to bring some of these, like the Mark 1 Heavy and even the Ducks, like just for a bit of fun. So let me know what you guys think. Have you played any of these tanks in these videos? Because these were fun times in Blitz. Let me know if you've played any of these. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm Meadsy, and I'll catch you soon. With